Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of the Born to Lead docu-series, which is a component of the A Queens Roundtable show and podcast. I am your host, Dr. Jacqueline Kabah Harrison, and I'm just bringing something up right quick. So there we go. Welcome back. Welcome back. So we air every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Where, you ask? On the Realizing Your Potential TV network, which streams on all of the major platforms such as Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, Apple TV. We are also in your mobile app store. We're in the Android app store as well as as well as the iOS app store, and of course Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So you have no excuse. Make sure you check out not only this episode, but the other awesome episodes that are under the Born to Lead docu-series. So this next guest that I have today, I am super excited to welcome her into the studio. And we're going to have that honest conversation about leadership. So her name is Gaelle, and I'm just gonna tell you just a little snippet about her, and she's gonna obviously dive in more and give you, more specifics about her company, who she serves, and how she serves. So Gaelle is a multi-award-winning visibility and confidence coach and award-winning motivational speaker. She is the visionary CEO and founder of a rockstar mindset. After 13 years working in financial services as a negotiator, risk manager, and head of well-being communications, she created her visibility consultancy, a rockstar mindset, 7 years ago to help senior women leaders, which is heads, VPs, D suite, and C suite women, become the rock star of their lives, bold, visible, and confident and unapologetically. Aren't you guys excited? I am. Woo! All right, so we're going to bring her on in. Hello there, young lady,
Hello.
rock star.
Hello, thank you so much for being here. Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi. Well, welcome to the studio. Let me take a little sip of water.
Yes.
You all know my throat gets really, really dry for some reason. So, Gaelle, I told the audience just a little bit about you,
Okay.
but I'd like for you to elaborate a little bit more. Like what, fill in the blanks and definitely last but not least, tell us how did all this come about?
Okay. So, what I do is I help senior women leaders, as you explained, VP, heads, D suite, and C suite women. To become the rockstar of their life. So, what does it mean? I help them to be confident, visible, recognized, so they can make the impact they are born to make. So I'm coming from a place of helping them to be in kind of expansive energy, from a place of excellence, joy, and impact. And so it's really a question to be authentically themselves, but also from a place of using their beautiful intellect. And most of the time, generally, they're all remarkable, excellent at what they do. But it's a question to bring together the emotional intelligence, the body wisdom, and the energy and the trust in themselves. So everything about self-confidence, self-worth, self-esteem. That's something I think when they're so focused on the next step that they forgot themselves in the process. So I help them to bring everything together so they feel safe to be visible and to be recognized and also make this impact. Most of the time they want to leave a legacy, make a difference, but they don't know how to do that. And you have to do it through visibility. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me just take it back just a little bit.
Mhm.
Tell us where you are from, like originally,
Okay.
and where you are right now. And I'm just interested to know I guess the individuals that you serve primarily, or maybe, and I'm pretty sure now serve globally, but when you initially started, what region were the women in, and what were you finding? Oh, how did you find that this was the target area, I guess, in terms of focusing on women? So I know you primarily service women.
Okay, I'm born in France and I've been living in London for 19 years now.
Okay.
Voilà. So I work in financial services here in London for more than 13 years. And after I basically created my business, I'm working mainly with women leaders, women in particular, because I know what they're going through. I went in financial services. I held several roles and responsibilities, so I know exactly what they're going through. And so from a global location, mainly I'm working with European clients, American clients most of the time. Getting along very well with American clients. I have to say, I love their mindset. I love their vibrancy. So yes, this is where it started.
Okay. All right. So how did you? Okay, so that's a bit of a jump, if you will, to go from financial service. Or at
Mm-hmm.
least I think to go from financial services to dealing with mindset work.
Yeah.
You know, so how, I mean, like, what was the catalyst?
Alors, the catalyst, particularly, was in 2017. At the time, I was a risk manager, and I manage, like I would say, to tick all the boxes of my mental success list. So I got the job, I got the title, I got the families, the hours, the holidays, the bag, everything that basically you put on this list. And I was coming back from France after a few days in Normandy. I was in the Eurostar at the time, and I think it's because I was such in a place of beauty, of harmony, of peace. I was so good with myself. I think it was really one of these time when everything is working so well that um, yeah, my intuition pipe up, and she said to me, "Okay, girl, you got everything you wanted. You achieve it. Um, that's it." And I was a bit taken aback, but I was like, "Hey, damn, it's
Okay.
true. It's not enough. Something has to be behind all of this." And I think it was really the wake up call I needed to be more curious and saying, okay, I don't know what's going on in this personal development world, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to be curious. I'm going to be so kind of um, having a beginner mind and being open to something I don't know. And it was very the catalyst for change for me, because from this moment, I was so happy because for a long time I've always been the kind of very positive person, very optimistic. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew there was a way of creating your life in a much more easier way. And so when I started to delve into personal development world with neuroscience, metaphysics, energy, I was like, damn, this is it. I got it. I got it. This is what I was looking for. And I was fired up. You realize that you can create your reality, you create your own bubble of happiness, you start to manifest because you're learning about it. And I love it. But at the same time, I saw so many women on the sidelines suffering from a mindset perspective, not able to shift their mindset, not able to see where they could go. And so this is where I said, okay, let me help them in terms of mindset. I want to share what I learned. I want to show them that they can really create a life they love. And I think it was really the catalyst for me to say, you know what, I managed to create my own bubble of happiness, but I'm going to help you to do the same. So that's why I think the name of my company is coming from that. It was really an idea of, you know what, if you really know how to lead your mind in a way you want to, if you understand the language of your mind, yes, yes, you can really create the life you want. And yeah, it was a start. So yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of leading me to ask, when you say language of the mind, so like I have one idea or something that I think of when I think of a mindset coach.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have a linguistics background or, I don't know, something you mentioned earlier. So, and I know,
Neuroscience.
right, there you go, neuroscience background.
Yeah.
And I know that we're gonna, dive into our leadership in a minute, but I've
Yeah.
gotten a little curious, and I'm pretty sure other people might be curious too. So,
Okay.
what, how does that, by having that particular background, how
Mm-hmm.
does that allow you to approach this mindset work differently? So let's just say, okay, so that's the question, but let me just kind of give you the backdrop of that. So let's say if someone is listening
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to, they know that they need a mindset coach. What would How would they make the decision that they would need to work with you, or an individual that has this neuroscience background? Like, what type of an edge does that give on doing mindset work?
I mean, what is important is that if they choose any mindset coach, they have to walk their talk. I mean, by that, they need to apply what they preach, and they need to do the inner work constantly. So me, I'm doing it for 7 years now. When my background is not specifically neuroscience, I delve into neuroscience when I started to say, you know what, I want to understand more about personal development. But it gives you such a clear understanding of the way your brain works that you can really not only change the way you think and the way you see the world, but you understand the way people think. And this is power. This is just reclaiming your personal power, because no matter where you're going to be, because you know what they're thinking, you know where they're coming from, it's more easy for you to detach yourself from any judgment, criticism, or taking things personally. So in a way, you have this power to respond to the situation instead of reacting to the situation. And once you start to reclaim this kind of personal power, this is where you're more grounded, you're more confident, and you can really lead your life the way you want to. So this is where I would say, if they really want to do this work, go to someone walking their talk. Like they did it, but they're still doing it, and they're not afraid to share about it. This is what I do every day, because a rockstar mindset, for example, is really the kind of mindset helping you to be optimistic, bounce back, but also to honor your emotion, to honor your feelings, to honor who you are as a human, instead of believing that you must be optimistic all the time. Is not sustainable, it's not realistic. But if you know how you can, for example, listen to your feelings, understand what's going on, what is triggering you, you're reclaiming your power, because you always have this ability to make a different choice. And this is the key of, I think, having a mindset coach, is helping you to see, oh, okay, the situation is not great, but I can really change my view of this one and see a better solution or a better outcome. And truly, I think in the world where we are right now, it's power. Thinking this way is really power, because it's really helping you to avoid falling into negativity, uncertainty, scarcity, drama, um, and just get back to center and feel grounded. Yeah.
Okay. I'm a therapist
Mm-hmm.
during the day. I was like, because I do my show and have the
Okay.
network and everything. But my primary job, or what I went to school for, was have a clinical degree. And hearing you say that is something that it really resonates with me. And just dealing with working with people, you know,
Yes.
you have to, or what you're really doing is helping them understand themselves better. So
Mm-hmm.
from what I think I heard, helping them understand themselves better, and so they can be able to respond to things versus just kind of pinging through life and just reacting. Like that's what I heard, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that is so powerful
Oh,
when
yes.
we really recognize that, right, Gail?
Absolutely.
Very powerful.
Absolutely. But it's interesting because most of the time people feel it.
Mhm.
When you are into this kind of energy, knowing where you are, knowing the way people think, you have this kind of inner confidence because you know yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. And I feel that from you. This is our very first time meeting everyone. And
Yes.
I definitely feel that, that energy from you. Even,
Oh.
here via video. How far away we are, but I feel that resonating all the way through you. And I
Oh.
just said it to me, that's important because um one, like you said, you want to deal with someone who's like, what do they say, walking the walk and talking the, not
Yeah.
just talking the talk, but walking the walk.
Exactly.
And it's like that's the biggest way, I think, to build trust
Mm.
in individuals, right? Is you actually doing it yourself and being able to teach people how to do it for themselves. you know
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's a huge component of it, you actually doing it yourself. And I guess for me, I've interviewed a lot of people since 2017,
Oh.
and it amazes me how sometimes you can see someone online, maybe watch their reels or watch their videos,
Mhm.
and they seem to be one way, very,
Oh.
what's the word, very like a people person, like they actually
Yeah.
really help people and things of that nature. And you get them on an interview, and it's like totally different, and it's like, wait a minute, so who was that person?
Mm.
Watched online, you know what I mean? And it's like now
Yes. No. Absolutely. Yeah.
one on one, and maybe it's no camera in front of us, right? No one's watching. Who are you now?
Mm.
And that always amazes me how it could be so different. So
It will be.
that resonates with me when you say walking the walk and talking the talk, or talking the talk and walking the
Yeah. Because even me, if I'm looking for someone and I want to work with this person, I will expect that I
hmm
can trust this person, that I can feel that
right.
the person is real. And because I think I'm coming from this place, I
Mhm.
expect from me
Right.
to infuse these values, to infuse this energy into everything I do. So that's why even with my clients, I said to them, when I have issue in terms of mindset or limiting belief or procrastination, I said to them, this is what happened to me. You're not alone. I'm doing it.
I
But
love it.
together it's definitely better. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So let's segue into leadership. So I know something that you're really, big on, and that's important to you. And I want you to go ahead and elaborate a little bit more on it, and talk about it with the audience here. Authentic leadership.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. What is that? What exactly does that mean, and how do you cultivate that?
For me, authentic leadership is not only you aware and you're very good at what you do in terms of strategy, in terms of analytical thinking, in terms of logic, but you balance it well with your emotional intelligence, with your creativity, and with your genius. And what I see most of the time is people are extremely good in terms of logical thinking, but they don't tap into their emotional intelligence and creativity, especially for women. It's like they do it, but it's optional. When you bring all together, this is where you can really feel do this work that people feel cared, safe, understood, and heard, and they can feel it as well. You're not afraid to be vulnerable. You're not afraid to say the thing as it is, but you do it from a place of neutrality. You do it from a place of creating a safe space, what they call psychological safety, so people can feel safe to speak, to express themselves. And this is, I mean, for me, it's the beginning of a really authentic, real relationship with your employees. Um, and it's really important to me because I think we are in a time in our society when energy is your signature card.
Mm.
People feel immediately if they can trust you or not. And I believe if you really want to help the people coming from a place of leadership, impact, helping them to thrive and to succeed, you must do it in a way that is real. And this is what I'm so passionate about authenticity, because I did it 7 years ago. I didn't know what I was doing, but I always committed to being authentic. So if something was not right, I was saying it. If something was not my passion, I was just let it go. But it helped me to be where I am. And I truly believe that the more you align with yourself and you're not afraid to say no to some things and to embrace the unknown, the more people can trust you and you can inspire them to be truly the person they want to become. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I believe people crave this kind of lifestyle when they can truly be themselves. And the first step is really to say, you know what, no matter what, no matter the pressure I'm going to be under, I'm going to stay loyal to who I am and to my values.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And it's come up before, the terminology of authentic leadership. And one of the things that was mentioned was like, just being real, like being transparent, like not pretending like you have all the answers, right? Because no
Yes,
one
for
has all the answers,
yeah.
but it's like, and even when I think back to when I've had good leadership, I've had some good leadership and I've had some not so good leadership,
Okay.
unfortunately. But I've been working out there in the working world since what, early 90s. So I've been through the gamut. But one of the things is for someone to actually say, you know what, I'm not sure. I'm not.
Is very confident. Is really the person is really coming from a place of confidence.
Hmm.
For me, when you say I don't know, I say, oh, okay, you're able basically to be confident and to own what
Hmm.
you don't know. And for me, it's a sign of, okay, I can trust this person because she's telling me, I'm not a guru, I'm not a genius, I'm a human being like you. But if I don't know something, okay, I will find out and I will get back to you.
Yep.
For me, it's a sign of confidence.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Look, I'll find out, and whatever it is,
Yeah.
we're in this together. We're gonna work through this. Something along those lines. To me,
Yeah.
it's just like if more leaders would just embrace just that. You don't have to pretend to know everything, and like, because nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect. No one person, can know everything, and everyone
Yes.
has different strengths, right? Different strengths,
Yes.
different areas that they
Definitely.
right.
Mm.
So I think all of that goes into authenticity, and I guess I feel, well, let me ask you this. So in working with leaders
Mhm.
and helping them be more authentic in their leadership, what are some of the, I guess, difficulties you find in people embracing it, that are authenticity?
So it's happening when they're coming and when they want to work with me and they're talking about struggling with visibility. The big hurdle right now that I hear so many times is imposter syndrome.
Okay.
It's coming from a place that these women are on top of their game, and despite it all, they feel disconnected, disillusioned, and some of them they say, I don't feel that I earn my seat at the table.
Mm.
So despite all the hard work, despite all the achievement and the milestone, which is basically proving that you're a high performer, overachiever, firefighter, they come into this place in their life, in their career, when they want to make an impact, they want to be visible, but they say to me, I still have this nagging feeling, creepy feeling in me that I shouldn't be here. And this for me is concerning and a bit sad at the same time. Because when you realize the amount of work they put to be where they are, and you arrive at this stage, and you still have this feeling that you are not enough. For me, it's concerning because it's like you allow yourself, despite all the work you do, to feel this way. And it shouldn't be the case. Imposter syndrome is not supposed to be something permanent. It's supposed to be something temporary. We all experience it when we had our first job, our first experience. All of us is not supposed to be permanent. When it starts to become permanent, it becomes a problem. It becomes an issue. Because the problem is the more they're going to work hard to be recognized, to prove that they should be where they are, the more behind the scene this feeling is going to creep up and is going just to hinder everything they do. That's why when they're going to the top, they say to me, I feel disconnected. I don't know where I want. I don't know why I did all of that. And I'm not happy. Because they didn't stop themselves in the track and say, is it really what I want? Does it feel really aligned with me? Does it feel authentic to me to go to this promotion, to go to this new position? They didn't ask themselves this question because they were in this performance race. And this is what is happening. And more and more of them said, I always felt this way, but it's coming such at the point now, and I want to make an impact. I want to really make a difference. And I realized that I cannot do that with this feeling of imposter syndrome. And this is what is concerning me. And I find it sad at the same time because it's like, you put all this energy, all this hard work, all this dedication, and behind the scene, you still have this lack of, it's like you have a little devil in your head, just tapping on you all the time and saying, yeah, you can try as much as you can, but I'm still here. And I find it concerning. So that's why when they come into me and say, is this imposter syndrome? I say, okay, is it going on for a while or is it temporary? And when they say, no, yeah, it's been for a while, we say, no, we need to work on it. Because being visible is feeling safe. When they feel like an imposter, they don't feel safe. They're playing the game. They can be a fantastic extrovert at times, but mostly my clients are introvert. And this is where the dichotomy starts to come. There is a kind of misalignment between your internal communication, imposter syndrome is part of it, and your external communication, so your public image, the way you want to show up. And that's why so many women, I think, struggle with visibility because they can feel that they don't feel safe to be visible. Something is not right. They want to do it in a way that feels good for them. And they say, oh, it's time for me to go to the roots of the problem and really look at it attentively. Yeah.
Right. Why do you think that so many women struggle with that? I mean, do you find that it's is it like all gender, not all gender, I'm sorry, all like ethnicities, all age groups, you think equally? Or
I think it can happen to anyone, to be honest. Most of the time they said to me, it's coming from the fact that they managed to be on top of their game, but they didn't follow the traditional path. So it's like they always been the different one, the original one, the unconventional one, or the black sheep one. And so for some of them, when they find themselves in this kind of world or in this kind of meeting room when no one is similar like them, I think this feeling of imposter is just like, okay, what I'm doing here. It's just like your environment is just showing to you that you shouldn't be here. And this is why I think this feeling is coming up again and again. Or it's coming when they work hard, but they didn't expect that it's going to happen so fast. So they didn't adjust to this new leadership, next level leadership. And they're like, oh. Their identity is not aligned with the next level leadership. So there is a dichotomy again. This is where some of them say, yeah, I feel like an imposter. I didn't do the work. And I think it's really coming from the fact, Jacqueline, that they didn't do the work to own their achievements. What they did, they accumulated the certificate, the diploma, the graduation, everything, but they didn't recognize it or acknowledge it so that they can say, you know what, this is who I am. I own my value. I know who I am. I know my worthiness. They didn't do the work. The problem is if you don't do it from a mindset perspective, it's like this. And if you don't do it, you don't develop your inner confidence. So inner confidence is like wherever you go, wherever I am, I'm confident. I belong in any room. I can command any room. This is inner confidence. But because they didn't do that, when they find themselves in a new environment, all the feelings are coming up again. Like criticism, judgment, comparison, everything. And I think a lot of people don't take the time to own their achievement and really to own them to a point that they say, I am worthy. If I am in this room, it's because I earned it. I did the work. It may be quicker, but there is a reason why I'm here. And I would love for them to think more this way instead of thinking, oh my God, I'm feeling like a fraud. I shouldn't be here. No. You earn it one way or another. So take it, learn and be even better. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned about that comparison. And I think that is one of the huge pieces to that puzzle, the whole imposter syndrome. And especially with social media, I think.
Yeah.
You scroll down someone's timeline and you're like, oh,
Oof.
you know what I mean? I don't know. I think, I don't know. I don't want to say. At first, what I was gonna say is that I think women tend to do that a little more, in terms of comparing themselves. I don't have any data or anything that supports that. That's just something that I think that I've experienced over the years, myself as well as talking to other women. So that's kind of how I gathered that. But what are your thoughts on that?
No, I think it's true. I think it's true because me, sometimes I notice women, they notice what you do as an entrepreneur. And so when I met them a bit later, they say, oh, by the way, I saw you here and I saw you here. And I'm like, yeah, but don't you have a life? I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm so busy being a better person than I was yesterday that I really don't have the time to look at what people do. I think I'm just in my lane. And as long as I am, my competition is myself. It's not others. So when you're so focused, I don't really care about what people do. I'm happy for them. If they're successful, if it's working, great. But after, I believe I'm so grateful for the gift and talent I have. And I'm a spiritual person as well. For me, it's a kind of disrespect, to just compare yourself to others. You're a unique person. If you really believe in your uniqueness, awesomeness, and brilliance, you don't spend your time to compare yourself to others. You work on yourself. You share your gift. And me, I'm like that. So that's why when it's happening, I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. This is not the way. Don't fall into this trap. And comparison is a thief of joy.
Right.
It really is a thief of joy. And joy for me is such an important energy and vibration that I love, that I'm like, my joy is sacred. You don't touch it. You don't steal it. Okay? It's sacred. So comparison is not something I really allow myself to fall into. But I do agree with you. Women have a tendency to do that more. Yes, I would agree with you. And I think social media is not helping that for sure. And I think for so many women, I think it would be great to do a kind of digital detox, a little bit, I have some friends, they're not spending so much time on social media. They said to me, I don't like the energy, I don't like the vibe. you suck into it. So I think they're really aware about how they feel about it. And even me, I'm not spending so much time. I'm looking at it, but you can put a timer and say, you know what, 10 minutes, that's fine. Otherwise, you never are going to the social media.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like how you said that comparing yourself to others is kind of like a disrespect. I like that.
Yeah.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
No comparison. Yeah,
what the problem is, what's the point?
right.
What's the point? Each of us, we have a unique path in life,
Mhm.
unique destiny. You have so much to discover. Why are you going to spend your time to look at what people others do?
Right. Yeah. But you know
Me-
what? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
go for it.
I was just gonna say, like, our culture today, and I know, you're in you said London, right?
Yeah.
And I don't, know exactly how it is there, but I know here so much time is spent doving into other people's lives, like the reality shows, like for example,
Mm-hmm.
like let's just say, and I try not to say things that's going to date the episode, but there's always something going on in the media
Yeah.
that people are so focused on, and it
Yeah.
usually has to do with someone that has money, and they're being taken down or they're being
Mm-hmm.
prosecuted, and it's always something, and it amazes me how people spend so much time in other people's lives, like whether it's tuning in to see what the
Yeah.
president is doing, or, tuning in to see what this celebrity, they're going through this terrible divorce, or either scrolling on social media,
Yeah.
looking at, and it just amazes me. But all of that, takes away from you. You know what I mean? Like if people really spent enough time, and I'm not saying this to throw shade,
No,
but
of
if
course.
people took the amount of time that they spent diving into other people's lives and making their own what's the word, judgment about it, or having an opinion,
Oh,
or talking about it, they just took that time and spent it on themselves, and their family, their relationships, their intimate relationships, their
mhm.
relationships with their children,
Yeah.
relationships with themselves, they would be much better off.
Yes, because I completely agree with you. When you think about it, it's very easy to judge others
Hmm.
without knowing what's going on behind the scene. Is I think it's the most of the easiest thing any human being can do in this world,
Right.
and they do it like that. Um, and I'm really trying not to be like that, because you never know what is going on behind the scene. You never know what are the details, and it's very easy for the media to create this kind of stories,
Hmm.
drama stories, big things, and everything. They grab our attention, and my time is precious, you know. So you have to recognize it as well, and they do it very well, very well. So that we start to react instead of responding, and you have to make a choice. You know, as you said, imagine the time they can gain if they stop spending so much time checking people's lives and saying, you know what, I'm going to do something about mine.
Yeah,
It would be revolutionary. I mean,
it really
revolutionary.
would.
Yeah.
It really would, because I think, being a therapist, it's so easy to point the finger. It's, well, two things. It's easy to point the finger at other people, right? And
Hmm.
say that they're the problem,
Yeah.
and that goes to like your relationships, whether it be
Absolutely.
your relationships with your family, friends, employer,
Hmm.
intimate relationships. It's so easy to say the other person, is the problem,
Yeah. Hmm.
because it takes more. It's harder to take a look at ourselves, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
number two, when you look at, it's easy to sit back and look at what this person did and be like, I wouldn't have did that. Oh, that was silly. You know what I mean? It's easy because, again, you don't have to look at yourself and think about what
Exactly.
you're doing in your life or what you're not doing, right?
Ah, yeah, absolutely.
It's easier.
And I think we have been conditioned sometimes I think to think this way. The blame and the shame game is the most easiest things everyone can use. Saying, I'm the victim, this is not my fault, it's him. Um, but it doesn't help us to evolve. It doesn't help us to be better. It doesn't help us to have better lives. Now, and I imagine with basically your experience, you can see it every day. And I think you're doing an amazing job to help them just to recenter themselves and say, okay, let's be a bit honest.
Right.
What's going on here?
Right. What's going on here?
You know, just tell me, okay,
Right.
between us, behind doors, how do you feel? You know? Because sometimes I think people just need to have this safe space just to speak. And you're doing an amazing job by doing that, because I think so many people need to speak their feelings so that they can really have, an honest look of their life, of their behavior, of the ways they see their life and say, you know what? Let me do something about it. Yeah.
And and I know this is everyone. I know we kind of moving slightly away from leadership, but just in general, if people really took the time to sit with themselves, right, and really look at themselves in the mirror, take an honest look, they would be able to figure out what their purpose is, like how you mentioned earlier, and actually be able to kind of settle into that, right? And when you're doing something that you enjoy, that you love, that you feel purposeful, that is the energy that you radiate out into the universe. That's how you deal with other people, how you know what I mean, how you move through life. And if people it's like a domino effect. If you know yourself, you know what I mean, you begin to love yourself, understand yourself, operate within your purpose. You're happier. You bring more positive, energy to the universe. You know what I mean? And just
Absolutely.
other people were vibing like that. Just think about how the world would be so different.
Yes, I think, when I love the analogy with the domino effect, because this is exactly what is happening. And people start to be inspired by you. They start to change a little bit. They start to change their life.
Yeah.
And you have a positive effect on your family, your relationship, your company. It's a beautiful domino effect. And but I think deep down, I think many people, they're scared. They're scared to look at themselves and see that, okay, I'm not only good and beautiful and clever and everything. There is some ugly, bad, awkward, and that's okay. I mean, it's part of being a human being. If you embrace really who you are as a human being, you can be honest with yourself. And I would love for people, just to embrace more their humanity. This is our strength, huh? And when you think about AI, this is our humanity, which is our superpower.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's a lot to think about, and I hope that those of you, listening to this, and regardless to when you, listen and hear, because it's going to be available on demand. But to really just stop and think, and just, whatever you do to get in your zone, and just to really, think and let things resonate with you, be insightful about things. And it's not going to happen overnight, it's a process.
I think it's a question to start small. It's always with incremental steps. No one is asking you basically to take a big leap of faith. Right. I think the question is just to stretch yourself a little bit by little bit. It could be have a walk. It could be just meditate. It could be just do nothing. But the more you give yourself these micro moments, the more you start to reclaim your inner peace. And you start to have, this kind of reflection mode coming in. But you have to give it to yourself. No one is going to give it to you. You have to give it to yourself and love yourself enough to say, you know what? I'm going to do it for me. I'm worthy, and refuse anything else. You are the one to lead your life to the end of the day. The more you love yourself, the more people can feel it, and the more you're going to receive love in return. The law of attraction is always working. So it's always in motion. So
Yes, that's
yeah.
right. Well, you know what? This has been awesome. I really
Yes.
enjoyed talking with you. This has been very,
Pleasure.
very, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been informative. And, I just really appreciate your time and you coming to pour into my audience. And just, I'm grateful for it. And, hopefully we'll be able to, reconnect again at some
Yes.
point in the future.
That would be a pleasure,
Yeah.
honestly.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Gail. So you know what? So go ahead and tell us, or tell the audience where how they can connect with you. Like I don't know,
Oh yeah.
is there a website or a particular social media handle?
Okay, I'm definitely on LinkedIn. This is my big platform. Or you have my website, rockstarmindset.com. I'm pretty sure you're going to have all the details in the podcast, yeah, podcast details. What else? And yeah, just book a call with me and let's talk because I'm more than happy to have a discussion with you and to help you. I mean, I'm here for that. I'm here to help you shine. I do believe you're a diamond in the rough. You can shine from so many angles, and you have to refuse that anything is going to stop you doing that. It's time, ladies. It's time, gorgeous.
Right, it's time. So you're on LinkedIn under your name?
Yes.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay. All right, awesome, awesome. Yeah. And so okay, so you said LinkedIn is primarily where you hang out. And
Yes.
I'm sorry, what did you say your website was again?
Is a rockstarmindset.com. Just the name of my company. You put a rockstar mindset in Google and you're going to find me. Yeah.
Okay. And she's gonna pop up like
You're going to see, you could say, oh, this is her. Yeah, the
that's
localizer.
all right. Well, thank you so much. And
It's a
thanks
pleasure.
everyone for tuning in. Make sure
Yes.
tell a friend, visit us on Realize Your Potential TV. Again, go to the App Store. Well, yeah, I'm sorry. Go to the App Store on if you have an Android or if you have an iPhone, just go to the App Store, type in Realizing Your Potential TV. I think it should come up. Or if you're on a streaming device, just go to Amazon Fire and in the search, just put Realizing Your Potential. You should be able to put Realizing Your Potential or either Realizing Your Potential TV and it should pop up. Download it, is free, and you can check out this video as well as all the other videos. Okay. So thanks again. Oh, and if you're interested in being interviewed, reach out to me. I hang out on LinkedIn as well as Facebook, and it's under my name, Dr. Jacqueline Kabah Harrison. All right, so thank you again, and
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
all right, everyone, stay tuned, and until next time. All right, okay, everyone, bye for now.